Welcome back now. More WKYT News. President Trump says he is strongly considering signing an executive order rescheduling marijuana to a lower classification. That move would loosen federal restrictions but would not fully legalize the drug. WKYT's Jackson Plank spoke to a CBD shop owner who says it sounds like a positive step for the cannabis industry, but he doesn't think it goes far enough. It's a story that's new tonight.
Initial reaction is, hey, this is a great thing and a positive step for cannabis rights. And that's what it was made to sound like, to get people to clap and cheer for it.
Robert Matheny has been a cannabis advocate in Kentucky for over a decade and supports looser rules. But he says the president's looming marijuana reclassification could spell bad news for Kentuckians and the industry as a whole. Matheny says the move would put marijuana products under pharmaceutical control and potentially drive up prices, and advocates for full marijuana decriminalization.
This puts a big profit margin in for the pharmaceutical industry, and this is a giant gift from our legislators and our president right now to the pharmaceutical industry.
Matheny's stance goes a step further than the one publicly supported by Governor Andy Beshear. In a July letter to President Trump, Beshear advocated in favor of rescheduling marijuana. In the letter, he said making the rules less restrictive would provide access to cannabis for treatment and allow for more research. Currently, the federal government classifies marijuana as a Schedule I drug. That classification places it alongside other drugs such as heroin and LSD. If classified as a Schedule III drug, it would be placed alongside drugs the DEA says have a moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence, such as ketamine and testosterone. Matheny says even if someone is caught with a Schedule III drug, someone could still be in trouble.
It's still a drug. It's still through a pharmacy. If you get caught with over-the-counter pain pills, it's the same as getting caught with fentanyl. You've got a drug.
Matthew Bratcher of Kentucky Normal is another marijuana advocate. He agrees with Matheny and says legislators should go a step further. Bratcher told WKYT while a meaningful step forward, people would not see full clarity or fairness until cannabis is fully declassified. The longtime cannabis advocate says he will watch to see what is done in Washington. Reporting in Danville, Jackson Plank, WKYT.
And it is unclear when Trump will sign the executive order.